So this week we've come to the most famous caves, probably in the whole of the Canary Islands, I think.
In the whole world.
In the whole world. Certainly in Fuerteventura. Ajuy. A J in Spanish is definitely a H.
Yeah.
And the UY at the end is a bit like muy.
Usually.
So, yeah.
So it's either ahoy or
Or
ahoy.
ahoy.
We don't know.
Depending on what you're feeling on the day. Ahoy is easy to remember, I suppose, because it's a bit like ahoy in a boat.
Yeah. When you're a pirate or something.
Yeah. But yeah, we don't know. It's one or the other. It's very hot today.
Nice breeze, isn't there?
Yeah, there's a good breeze. So this first section of the path is quite steep, but there doesn't seem to be anybody here, which is good.
Yeah, usually there's more people around than this, but obviously there's no tourists still here. One thing I would say about if you do choose to come here to do this is don't try and do it in flip-flops or sandals, because some of the ground underneath is quite uneven, so I'd do it in trainers.
So the first section on the trail, you're going to see all the old lime. This used to be an area from where they collected the lime to actually build traditional houses, but that practice stopped, I think, quite a few years ago. But that's why the first section looks a different colour to the rest of the caves. And there's two sections of the path here, so you'll see a sign when you come in, but you can go down to the bottom section. But if you're heading for the caves, you need to be heading upwards. So we've made it inside the first chamber. I don't think we've ever been here and been the only people.
No, never.
So this is
Only
quite
got a
cool.
few people from us, especially at the weekends.
Yeah, this can be quite a popular spot. So with the stairs here, you'll often have to wait so that there's a gap, because it's really only in some sections you can only go up in single file. So this is really cool.
So depending on how adventurous you are, you can climb over all the rocks and things that way or that way. And if you keep going that way, which we have done before, there is like another little opening to the outside.
So this is the first part where you start to walk towards the back of this cave. So this is all natural light here, and you can just make out an opening at the end. So if there's two different ways that you can walk, either stay round to the right or to the left, and eventually you'll come to that opening and you've got a really nice lookout point overlooking the ocean, which is quite cool. It can get quite dark towards the back, so you might need your torch on your phone just to see where you're putting your feet, because it can get quite wet, but it's definitely worth scrambling towards the back there and having a look. What's your favourite thing about the caves?
I just like the fact you can explore at will in here, as I said. So if you feel quite adventurous, which normally I do, it's a good fun bit of time just climbing around, and especially when you come here for the first time, because you don't know what you're going to find at the other end. Obviously we've done it a few times now, but yeah, it's just the freedom to roam and do what you want, I guess, is what I like the most.
is the second chamber, and if you're brave enough to climb the short climb to get in here, it's definitely worth it. There's always a lot less people this side. The main chamber tends to get very busy. This second chamber, not so much. It's a pretty easy walk down to the back as well there, because it is more open on this side. So you'll find it easier to be brave and go inside the cave itself. And it does go quite a way back, so it's worth exploring down there. And these rocks at the front, there are some fairly flat sections, so if you just take your time, you can quite carefully walk to get a view of the ocean. It is absolutely amazing up here. I definitely recommend a visit.
Yeah, the views are, when you're actually here to see the views from here, absolutely stunning.
Yeah, I don't think the camera does it justice, to be honest. There's a lot of interesting rock formations.
And it's absolutely free to come here. You don't have to pay or anything.
Great colours in the rocks as well. Yeah, just really, really nice walk. I'd say maybe an hour to allow kind of to do there and back.
Yeah, and to kind of pace it, because there are some quite steep bits to either go up or go down. Obviously, if you go up one way, you're going to be coming down at some point. So yeah, it enables you to take your time.
When we've been here before, there's often been padlocks on this bridge, but they seem to have taken them all off. So maybe they don't want people doing that anymore. So the main beach and the walk up to the caves is all along this side, but if you stay to the left hand side of the main beach here and walk all the way to the end, there is another small sort of mini cave here. So if you've got people in your group that are struggling with mobility to do the main walk, just having a walk along the beach here is really nice in itself. And this here is a good reminder why you shouldn't swim on the west coast. You can take a little paddle in this area here, but I wouldn't go too far in. Plenty of people do get swept away that don't realise how strong the currents are, so just be careful. Showers and toilets here. I'm not sure if they're open at the moment.
They're new, they weren't there before.
Yeah. And you've got a couple of local restaurants that unfortunately are shut at the moment, but these are both excellent for fresh seafood. So this one here would normally have tables and chairs outside, and the same with this one here. We've eaten at both.
This one's my favourite.
That one. Why?
Well, I had a giant squid there, and it was the nicest squid I've ever eaten anywhere. But I mean, they're quite touristy, so they're not cheap. So another option is to go to Paraja, which is about 15 minutes drive away in the car. Nearest town to here, I would say, and there's a few cafes there.
So we've stopped here in Paraja on the way back home. It's quite a nice little pretty town.
Yeah, it's worth a pit stop either on the way to the caves or on the way back. That's normally when we visit here. Plenty of places that you can have something to eat or drink. So, and just a little wander around, it's quite nice.
It's quite a decent ice cream place here as well, so yeah, even if it's not a full meal, if you just want to grab a snack, there's a little supermarket, and also the church in the main square is quite pretty, so quite nice to have a little walk around there. So there's restaurants at this end of the street with outdoor seating. We have eaten at this place before on the left here. They do a set menu, a menu del dia at lunchtime, which is quite good value. And there's also a bar on the other side of the street as well. Quite a few restaurants at this end of the street with outdoor seating. So if the weather's nice and warm, you can sit outside and eat at one of these places. So there's plenty of parking here in Paraja, the white bays either side of the main road. You can park for free, and there's lots of shade as well because of the nice trees here, so it keeps the car nice and cool while you're having a walk around. Thanks for exploring Ajuy and Paraja with us. We'll see you next week.
See you then.